Shall we start?
Yes, sir. Please start.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to everybody, whosoever is a participant across the nation. Today we are in a different mode and we'll be discussing something about the honey processing under Indian context because India has been a hub of honey production and we find always the references in very old testaments, that's Vedas and all that, and has always been a part and parcel in our traditional medicines which normally used to treat the various diseases since time immemorial. Since it is the oldest civilization in India, one of the oldest civilization in India, and have been using this honey for treatment of various deadly diseases when so much allopathic medicines was not in practice. Therefore, does have a relevance also in our dietary systems. Since the honey, as and when we talk of, it gives us a feel that it is related to something as sweetened by way of having lots of health benefits, which includes nutrients, antioxidants, and is considered the best for our heart and also promotes healing. What that means, its use is as old as the civilization is. Since honey is a natural product and is extracted by the livestock, that is from various flora and fauna which is found around us and is extracted by the honeybees. Honeybees constitutes important phenomenon in making of honey. So in case we will talk of the honey processing, how it should reach to the end user. Under the Indian context, there are various issues which we'll be discussing here. And it's very important before going to the processing part, we need to know what this beekeeping is. Since honey, it comes directly, it's from the honeybees, so they are extracting it from the various flora and fauna. Therefore, it is an art that is called as rearing of the honey bees is called as apiculture. It is specialized, its specialized name is apiculture. And it is an industry for producing honey and wax. Because the raw honey is a composition of honey and the wax. Once we get some wax out of it, and what we normally consume, that's honey. Since ancient times, honeybees have been kept in the crude manner in India. When there was no defined methods of rearing the honeybees, there was a crude manner they were used to keep. That's called the wall colonies in tree trunks. We used to find the honeybees around there and they were extracting the honey from the wild flora and all that. And the people would come and just extract it after giving a smoke and proper smoking and just and extracting honey and then leaving it as such again for the honeybees to extract the honey right in that these colonies. Beekeeping today is based on improved methods. It's today's now time has advanced, world has changed, a lot of research has come in, and it has also gone a drastic change. Now today's the beekeeping is now based on improved methods using the principle of mobile frame, hive honey extractors, and the smokers. It is now a very important, there's a paradigm shift from the old and orthodox method of rearing the bees. Now it's being done the mobile frames. It is bee hives have been made like it, and honey extractors have been put in use for it, extracting then harvesting the honey from the honey frames. And also in order to keep these honeybees away, because otherwise they will sting you and all that and they will become redundant. And in order to keep and the smokers are being put to the use. Before the honey is being extracted from those beehives. Beekeeping, beekeeping is now amplifying day by day. What that means, everyone is now showing an interest in rearing of the bees. Now, the government of India, it's for the information of all my participants, whosoever are listening, has issued a honey mission. Have now it's almost 100 crore rupees approximately have been put in to promote the beekeeping and the honey production, and also the value addition of the honey. And value addition of the honey is now a different and very specialized subject, and it can be detailed in the next program as and when I will be asked to. But honey mission is now a reality which has definitely given it has given an amplified its production, and also the number of the bee colonies and beekeepers is increasing phenomenally. Bee farming in India, what's the status? India is among the major honey exporting countries in the world. Major markets for the Indian honey are Germany, USA, UK, England, Japan, France, and in many other countries. Because India is a diverse country, from tropical region to the temperate regions, multifloras are available, and also the wildflowers which are having a special significance in the beekeeping that makes it so rare and has a relevance in the international market. Though the honey from the New Zealand, which is considered to be the best in the world, but honey from the India is not far off from it in terms of its quality, as well as from its texture and flavor. Therefore, Indian beekeepers are engaged in extraction of raw honey and bee colonies maintained by them. Very few beekeepers are extracting wax and pollens. Now, everyone, beekeeper, whosoever is in this business, they are extracting only honey, and very few people are going for the value additions, which has really which are in demand, because extracting the wax has a different uses, and also the pollens has its different uses. That's a full-fledged subject which can be debated and detailed any other time. Techniques of bee farming, what had been, because traditional bee farming, I told you, ever since the civilization, that this beekeeping and honey extraction has been going on side by side, and has because of the multifarious use and all that, it has been a factor of fascination for every human being. Traditional bee farming means clay houses, what I told you, the wall colonies, they are otherwise called as, and the wooden logs. In jungles and big trunks, in the trunks, you will find a swarm of those bee colonies would be around, and they will be extracting a lot of honeys, and collecting honey and extracting the honey is going on side by side. So modern bee farming is now wooden boxes with the frames, what we normally you see in the different orchards, in different cross-pollinated crops, especially in the oil seeds and also, and which has been, these wooden boxes has made it is easy to handle. Honey extraction is very easy, and bee eggs are not harmed, which are the source of the livestock. Bee colony has a queen being single fertile female in the bee colony, a female worker, which are present in large number, generally around 30,000 in a particular colony, have drones which are present in hundreds for breeding purposes. What that means, it has a well-defined army, having the different works which are being assigned to the different bees. For example, a queen, and drones, female workers, and also the drones, which are all busy in collecting the honey and protecting the queen. Species of the honeybees in India, which are found. Indian hive bees, which is normally belong to us, little bees, rock bees, stingless bees, and Italian bee or a European bee. European bee or the Italian bee is normally yielding much more than the Indian bee or little bees or rock bees or stingless bees. So therefore, it is in preference, and everyone almost has a liking for its rearing, and because high quality honey and shoots under high quality honey is extracted and shoots under environmental conditions. Bee products, what are the bee products in honeybee farming? Flower honey, first, the what's the honey? It comes from? It comes from the flowers, squeezed raw honey, extracted honey, granulated honey, and comb honey. Comb honey you will find in the very big hotels now. There's a tradition. Now they use the comb honey just or put before the desks, and everyone uses to its taste, and after just extracted directly from the comb. Bee wax, bee venom, propolis, royal jelly, and pollens. They are the bee products of the bee farming, and this is also to be discussed and debated in detail and in any of the other time as and when asked. Sources of the honey in India, what are main sources of honey in India? Because I told you that it's a diversified country having the varied flora available and very unique flowers available, from which the honeybees have a liking to extract the honey from the different nectars and pollens and gives it the best honey. Mostly the pollen producing plants, what are maize, acacia. In Kashmir, I will tell you, we have the best, in one of the best in the world. Acacia, brassica, eucalyptus, hordeum, ageratum, and many different plants also, where it is being extracted from the very pollens. And the nectar producing plants, brassica, trifolium, acacia, citrus, robinia, quinoa, etc. And these are the plants where from the honey comes from the nectars, is the nectar producing plants. What is the general information? India is the second largest honey producing in the world. Second largest. So we carry a lot of significance in the world market. It is quality, which defines definitely it is trading. And the flora from which it is being extracted definitely has a liking for the consumers across the world. So total honey production in India is 133,000 tons. Honey export from India is 74,413 units. Value of the exports is 121.17 crores. It is September 22 figures, what I have got it. Bee colonies and beekeepers. As per the survey, India has the potential of the 2 million bee colonies, but 20 million bee colonies, but only 3.5 million approximately bee colonies are existing in India. So henceforth, there is a huge gap between the 20 and 3.5 million. It's almost, we are still the deficit by 16.5 million bee colonies. So huge potential, and we have to go a long way to realize our full potential and to be the world leader. Bee colonies now are on the rise, which will enhance the production of the bee-related products, but also will boost the overall agricultural and horticultural productivity. Since bees are adjusting from one male flower to another flower, are playing a significant role in the cross-pollination of the different crops, which results in the better fruit setting, and the better fruit setting means enhanced production and productivity. So it has a dual role. From one side, it gives us honey, which normally is its end product, and we are relishing it. From other side, it contributes to increase the production and productivity by way of their presence and their significance in cross-pollination of the different crops. So henceforth, it has a dual role to play. From one side, results in the production, productivity of the cross-pollinated crops. Number two, from other side, it results in the production of the honey and it is allied products. So as on date, 12,699 beekeepers have been registered under the National Bee Board, September 1, 2022 figures. But as per the statistics, 2.63 lakh beekeepers and honey producing units exist in India. That is in 2013 figures. No census has been made since then, and so we are just having 2.63 lakh keepers. And along with the National Bee Board, which is run by the government, under the control of the government of India, 12,699 beekeepers are registered with it. So henceforth, people are now getting themselves registered with a central agency who are taking care or just maintaining their figures and facts about the bee and bee colonies and the honey production and productivity and its value additions. Therefore, there is as increased, people are showing an increased interest in beekeeping and its production and its contribution towards the honey production and also in the cross pollination of the different crops. What are the normally every sector has its own problems. Since it's a livestock, so therefore it is confronted with the different problems across India. Mostly we are using the indiscriminate use of pesticides, which has a lethal effect on the existence of the bee colonies. Because the use of pesticides is resulting in the mortality of the bee colonies and bees which are on normal flight to collect the nectar or the pollens from the different flowers. And in the process, they get killed or having the mortality because of the use of the pesticides which that comes in their way. Because normally the pesticides are having or poisonous effects on any of this living being. Various bee diseases and different enemy predators and enemies are haunting its promotion. Lack of technical knowledge for efficient management of the bee colonies, which is the major factor. We may have an interest in bee rearing of the bee colonies, but the technical knowledge, what is required for the efficient management of the bee colony, so that we may not lose it as and when we require the bee division, when it's to be undertaken, that we never know. When the honey is to be extracted, we are lacking some information, we are lacking certain this knowledge. How much the quantity is to be kept for the bee colonies during the drought period or during the fall period, so that they can live there. It can be used as a feed. That we little bit we fall behind. So henceforth, a comprehensive requirement is that we should all know about best management practices which ought to be undertaken for the efficient management of the bee colonies and the whole of the apiculture sector. And sometimes the adverse weather effects. It has a very adverse impact on the bee colonies and beekeeping. We are finding the concrete jungles are coming up all across in the rural as well as the urban areas, which has really depleted the floral resources. Henceforth, which has direct bearing on the honey production and also the existence of the bee colonies and the bees. Lack of infrastructure at the ground level, because there are very little infrastructure what is normally required for promoting the bee culture, bee colonies, for promoting the honey production and its value addition. Very little infrastructure is available because it requires, before it goes to a consumer or to the market, that too in the international standards, we should have a very huge infrastructure, which is really lacking and haunting the apiculture sector. Poor quality control for production of the honey. Once infrastructure is not available, so obviously you will not be having a proper control for the quality production of the honey and honeybee, and also maintenance of about the health of especially the health of the bee colonies. Disease prevention, control, and analysis. Unless and until you have that system in place, you cannot expect the best and the robust bee colonies available which can give us some high yields, finance and insurance. Because beekeepers normally are very poor, and it's in the interiors of the rural uh, sectors, rural areas, so where the insurance and the finances are not being promoted, or not being is not available, and the marketing. So, it's very difficult to find a very reasonable market which can give the price which can be best corresponding to its value. Pricing structure for the honey. There is no pricing structure at all across the honey, because some of the honey, which normally is being sold at the 1,000 rupees a kg, and some 2,000, some 3,000. If it uniform structure would be available for the beekeepers for as the procurement for the raw honey and also the processed honey, so obviously a uniformity will get maintained and everybody will be having a benefits uniformly distributed, which can definitely make promotion at its larger levels possible. What normally the infrastructure is all about, what we normally under in the Indian context, because I have already told you that we are the second largest producers in the world. Second largest producer means a lot. 133,000 metric tons of the produced annually, and which is being almost firstly it's consumed in our domestic market because we have a very huge demand, and also being exported to different countries, especially the USA, UK, France, etc. Even in the Middle East, everyone has a liking for it because it's a sweet and has a lot of health benefits and is used in the cosmetic and pharmaceutical industries. So henceforth, its relevance is more and more gathering, and it is getting amplified day by day. So testing facility is the first and foremost thing when you have to be in international trade. To ensure the product is of desired quality for the human consumption, testing facilities should have the following requirements. Firstly, a sensory laboratory, physical laboratory, chemical laboratory, microbiology laboratory, toxic substance analysis laboratory, pesticide residue laboratories. Because we are using the indiscriminate use of the pesticides, so sometimes the residual effects are always found in the honey, because pollens, what they are just getting it and just converting it into honey and just extracting it there, it has some residual effects. So that analysis would definitely define how much is the permissive limit, whether it is safe for the human consumption or not. Those laboratories would definitely give us an undertaking that the product what is put on the sale is genuine product and has been analyzed to the best for the best of uh, human consumption. So and there will be no adversity to his health. Laboratory having competences to carry out the complete testing as per the food safety standards regulations of 2011 and food safety standards contamination toxin residues of honey and honey products, and it normally costs 2.5 crore rupees. And this is then for market potential. What is the market potential under the Indian context? Market potential is the key for the establishment of honey processing units, because in case you don't have the best honey processing units, you cannot have the best market. If it is all through from the honey processing units, any product, end product, definitely everyone will have an access to the honey all across the world, and it will be in continuous demand. Since India is one of the largest producers of the honey, therefore, we need to have one analyzing laboratory, which will definitely will evaluate on different parameters which are as defined under the food safety standards of 2011, and has an assurance for the consumer that it is safe to use and it is best for your health. And market potential is key for the establishment of honey processing units under Indian standards, because honey has varied use in the pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, and its confectionery use. The demand is very high for refined high quality honey free from pesticides, insecticide, health toxics. So therefore, this is the market potential. Market potential will get generated when every consumer will be having an assurance that it does not contain the pesticides, it does not contain any insecticide, and is free from health toxins, which normally has an adverse effect on your health. If it will be free from it, or that means it is a blessed product. Blessed product means it has a varied health benefits. It is an antioxidant. It's always used in the different pharmaceutical companies. It's always used in the drugs, and it is always having improves your digestion and also is best for maintaining your heart and also regulates your blood sugars if consumed in a normal quantity. What's the production process? It is a sequential chain of processing operation from initial extraction to the packaging of the final product. What that means, when we have to extract the honey from the beehives, it's operation from that. Firstly, following integrated steps are given below. Firstly, the initial extraction, dehumidification, liquefaction, heating, pasteurization, crystallization, and finally, and packaging. And it must be beautifully packed so that it will attract the eye of the customers. So it will generate huge sales, because finally the best product in a best packaging will definitely be better than a best product in a very illegitimate, I mean very poor packaging. And for both of must go together, which will definitely attract a lot of money for the producers and as well as for the persons who are in business of it. Product must meet FSSAI standards, and details are specific gravity. It must be not less than 1.35. Moisture not more than 25% by mass. Total reducing sugars must not be less than 60% by mass. Sucrose not more than 5 to 10%. Normally we are taking as 5% by mass. Glucose fructose ratio not less than 0.94% by mass. Ash not more than 0.5% by mass. Formic acid, means acidity, not more than 2% by mass. Fishes test, that's negative. Hydroxymethyl furfuryl, it must be milligrams per kg. It must be not more than 80 milligrams per kg. So henceforth, there are various agencies in the country for extending help for establishment of the honey processing plants, which the normally a group of beekeepers, 10, 15, 20 can afford it. And Bee Board of India, they are just already extending help, technical as well as financial help, which definitely promotes the beekeeping and apiculture sector and is taking to the different levels, because the deficit, what we normally are, we are having only 3.5 million bee colonies as on date, and as again is the 20 million bee colonies, which is the total potential. And to reduce the deficit, we have to go all along in this sector, and government help is always there. Technical help is always there from the different government agencies, which normally will make a sustainable activity for generating the revenues for our beekeepers as well as for the country. Thank you very much. And it is all from my side. If anyone does have a question about it, and that can be answered.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. I will take up the questions from the participants. In the meantime, can you please stop sharing the screen, sir, so that we can see your full video?
Okay.
You will have one red button, stop sharing. Yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you very much, sir. The first question is, which part of India are most suited for keeping hives and producing honey?
I'm not able to hear you properly. Kindly.
Okay, I will read it out again, sir. Which part of India
Yeah.
are most suited for keeping hives and producing honey?
Basically, it is always those areas wherever you have the lot of flora and fauna available. Normally, if I will talk of the Kashmir, normally we are blessed with the different kinds of flowers. For example, the acacia is a tree, which is a single tree, and it is considered to be one of the finest honeys in the world. And we have a tree, we have a wild tree that is called as solai, and that is always coming for the 15 or 20 days, and a lot of honey is getting out of it. That is the rare honey what we normally have. In case you will go in case of northeastern states, a lot of wild trees are available, a lot of wild flowers are available. Normally it is wherever it is, flora is available there, we can use it, and we are generating a lot of honey from the various, even the brassica we are getting it, from eucalyptus we are getting it. Or there is none, but it is only from those areas where the flora is available. That's it.
Okay. Looking back at your role as farmer director at Department of Agriculture, Kashmir,
Yeah.
what will you say as your main achievement?
Yes. What did you say means?
What you consider as your main achievements?
My main achievement always had been, because I got this honey, which normally was the rare in Kashmir. I got it in the international platform. So we started the business in from Delhi, and we got it exported to different countries. And now, mashallah, I am greatly thankful to myself. As a director of agriculture, I have been able to give a dream to my people, which has been realized it now. Now we are the one of the, I will not say that we are the major exporters, but we are the one of the major exporters from the country.
Okay, I'll move on to the next question, sir. As advisor at Lakshman Rao Inamdar National Academy, what exactly do you do?
It is only the advisory, as and when anyone does have any advice problem regarding the establishment of any agriculture unit, right from the field crops, the vegetables to the fish, everything. After understanding it is feasibility, after it is adaptability, then we make the recommendations according to that and evaluate the different projects as well. And we pass on always the advisory on what is required to be, what is required to be done, and how it can be done, and what is definitely well suited for him in order to have it as sustainable activity.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We have now completed the round of questions. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank Mr. Altaf Aijaz for the talk and for answering the questions. I like to also thank all the participants in the meeting. This meeting will now be closed.
Please send me the video.
Sir.
Please send.
We will
please send
it,
me
sir,
the video
by tomorrow. By tomorrow morning, we will send it.
Thank
you.
Thank
you very much.
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.